some respect. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time for reality check. Yeah, reality check. Gotta get you back on cold. Reality check. For the young and the old. Reality check. Yeah, heal the heal your soul. Reality check. Get ready for the show.
What's up? What's up? What's up, dude? How you doing, Eve?
What up? What's going on? Happy holidays to you, Dr. Winters, and
Yes,
the chat.
and happy holidays to you too. It's been kind of rough today. My kids, I wasn't going anywhere today, so they wanted me to come over to the house, but I said no, I'm not coming out. I'm gonna stay in the crib. Why? Because I want to. But then they made me go out. Then when I got out, they had this nice hat for me, and
I like your hat. I like your hat a lot.
thank you. And they had brought me a Bears jacket. Bear down, baby, bear down.
Bears.
Yeah, because I don't really ever be really expecting any gifts. That's as I don't know, as dad, you never expect the gifts. You always give your kids money to make sure they get their mom a present. You never tell them to give you a present. But so they surprised me today because I wasn't going to go out, but then you gotta come out. You gotta come out. I said I'm not coming out. I won't just hang around the crib. Why? Because I want to. Why won't
I
your
mean,
kids?
isn't that what you do on any other random day, right?
Probably, but the thing is, this is that I wanted to be my own man. How about that? How about that? I want to be my own man. They you know, your children. Even though they're grown, they still in a sense, they still dominate. I remember my
You say dominate. When
yeah.
you have six, yeah, you might feel outnumbered.
Kind of if they're concerned about you, if they want to be around you. It's kind of hard because see the thing is this is that as a man is not supposed to be acting like that. A man shouldn't care, but that's probably because most men aren't family men, so maybe they don't understand.
Mm, I do think about that. Well, I think about it often because, the conversation is always, well, a lot of times the family dynamic conversation comes to a toxic masculinity point where you've got women saying that they just don't want to deal with, having a partner or a person because, well, they own woman or they're independent. They don't need no man or, they can do bad by themselves. It's a lot of vitriol, I think, when we have family dynamic conversations. But I'm glad, and I don't mean we, me and you, I just mean we people. So I'm glad to hear the conversation about your family because it's like it's different. It's nice and refreshing to know that you can have a mom and a dad and functioning people and society is a better place for it. Shout
Well,
out to your family.
well, historically, they haven't really tried to push our family image. The man isn't supposed to love his kids. The man isn't supposed to, because love is supposed to be a sign of weakness. I see it as strength. But they feel that's feminine. But the thing is, this is that I think it's very, very important that you do this. Like so I went today. So I was over my son's house. They surprised me with a Bears outfit. So I guess that's why they wanted me to come out. They wanted me to. I usually go, but I wasn't going today because I just wanted to be free. Nobody bossing me around. But they did.
Well, they got you out the house. I think it's good though. It's like I guess kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Why people celebrate even though they know better, or even though they know different things. I sent the generic Christmas text the same way I might have received a generic Christmas text. And I used to not send anything back. So, baby steps with regards to the re-entry of family time, but
That's
also
good.
just wanting to take control over our stuff. I think that would be fitting for any holiday that we celebrated. This is our time to do fill in the blank, whatever it is you want it to do.
Right, but it's for the kids because I really, I really never thought about birthdays and I never thought about Christmas, but my wife loved it, and around up to the first, the beginning around what the a week or so before Christmas, they used to be start cooking cookies and
Mhm.
peanut butter cookies, chocolate chip cookies, gingerbread men, and they cook them, eat them up, cook some more, eat them up.
That's been my house though. This past week has definitely been cookies and pastries and
Yeah,
muffins and cupcakes and just lots of excuses to eat all the sweets, all of
yeah.
them, every single one. And
What,
then
what
maybe,
about our tummy rubber? What about our
oh
tummy
yeah,
rubber?
no, the tummy rubber wakes up with cookies on the brain, specifically has a whole order. Like today he said, I mean, and it was so funny because he knew I was still asleep. So he didn't even press it. He came in the room and said, "When you wake up, can I have 3 Oreos and 3 of your cookies, which are the
Uh-uh,
cookies that
uh-uh.
I made?" And I was like, I said, 6 cookies for breakfast. And he said, "Yes, please." I said, I don't know about 6, but yes, we can do cookies for breakfast. And
Yeah,
and then I went back to sleep, and then he left the room, and it was kind of crazy because normally he would have just been like, "Did you get that? Did you get the order? You got it? When you wake up, the Oreos and your cookies, both of them, I want them." Or I guess even try to wake me up, but today he didn't. He just kind of
yeah.
maybe he's getting older. He's not doing the babying thing anymore, but
Well, back in the
does
day,
tummy rub.
my kids they'd be waking up early for Christmas. My knee baby, he said he had a song. It's Merry Christmas, da nada da nada. It's Christmas, da nada da nada. You know. I called him. He called me today. I said, "Damn, are you still singing your song?" No. I said, "I hope not."
Oh, his kids don't sing the song.
No, no, no.
Oh
His
no.
is that because you remember you know as you get older, you got to kind of in a sense do things, but everybody does things different, the way I raise my children is different from the way they raise their children, probably, you know.
I agree. Each generation, I think, at least thinks that they're gonna do it better than how their parents did it. And then, well, what's better? Because each generation says they're gonna do it better. So if you didn't get it right, and then your kids say that you didn't get it right because they're raising their kids different than how you raised your kid, it's very interesting how people think um it matters. I think there's some things that matter, and then the rest of it is just fluff. But
Yeah,
then maybe that's a bigger or deeper understanding of these things.
Craig so far says when I went over to my aunt's house during the holidays, I grabbed from her cookie jar like a maniac. I was dogging those cookies. Yeah, yeah. Back in the day, a lot of people had cookie jars. I used to like to go over my auntie. She would always make me a caramel cake, and just for me. And
Ooh, that sounds a caramel cake. Oh my gosh.
yeah, she used to make me that caramel cake every Christmas. My aunt Daisy was she's very nice. I had nice aunties. Very good aunties. Back in the day, aunties and uncles, they were a little bit more involved. I used to be disappointed in my kids because, they weren't as they weren't as involved, with their children. It looked like, or had them, come around a lot and stuff like that. And it was interesting. But you can't expect your children to totally emulate you.
No, well, not totally, but there are gonna be some things, and then you're
Yeah,
gonna. Well, I guess it just depends on you know you. Is it something that you wanted remembered? Is it a tradition, or is it something you want forgotten because you don't like the trauma? I guess tradition and trauma might be two things that the holidays could bring up these types of feelings or
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's trauma. You might think about you think about. Well, I might I think about my wife maybe, but things like that. But but other than that, I mean, you know, you just go through it, and it's just to me, you want the kids to be happy.
mm-hmm.
And that's how I always felt about Christmas. You want your kids to be happy, and back in the day, back when they was little, Black Friday was a blip. Black Friday was a blip back when they were little. Because back when they were little, they had a special toy they had to get, and usually they were on sale on Black Friday.
Right.
So you'd be in line to try to get those special toys, you know, and like my third son, he was the main one who liked the toys. He always wanted Star Wars stuff, but it was beautiful. By the by the time they got older, just buy the kids some game, give them some money to buy some games, and they're happy. Even though those games cost a lot of money, get a good PlayStation and stuff. So
Yeah, no, well, the games, that's definitely what they want now. If they are using computers and technology or anything like that, we try to limit screen time, but because they all have different screens, tablets, phones, whatever. I guess it kind of gets a little. It does get it. It presents its own challenges,
that's
and then,
good.
well, kids don't read anymore, and that presents more challenges, and you don't get an opportunity to have an imagination beyond a device, or it's just, I guess these things start to snowball, or what's the word? They get bigger over time. So,
Snowball is a good one. You get the little snowball and you roll to get larger and larger. But
right.
I don't know. It's very very interesting and very comforting and stuff. Yeah. Is that your mink stove you got this
Ooh,
time?
look at my, it's I don't know what it is. It's bear. Let's call it bear. It's this bear that got shot the other day. And yeah, this is the fruits of that labor. But
Ah, your man went out hunting, baby. Went out hunting. he said, I'm going to get my girl. Yeah, my girl. I don't
that's right.
nobody. I'm going to get my girl. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna get that real bring it in.
That's right. Shout out to him. And this and my bear, because
Yeah.
it's so soft. And well, I'm in a different spot today because, well, the holidays, people be places, and I
Yeah,
think that it's a good time to be comfy.
I can dig it. It's always good to be comfy. People always say that. Since I'm retired, they always say, "Hey, what are you doing?" When
Hmm.
you're retired, they don't feel you need any money. They don't feel you want anything. They just feel you want to give it. You should give it to
Just give
them
it
to take
all
care
to
of you.
them. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, because they're the ones. But I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I had a very good day today. I woke up and I was feeling quite enthusiastic. And that's the most important thing, is to see. I wasn't going to go around. I wasn't going to go over any of the kids' house. I was going to just, for once, just stay. Because back in the day, we would, my kids, they always want us to babysit their kids for New Year's.
Right.
So a lot of times back in the day, me and my wife, we would go to Vegas around, the the day after Christmas or before Christmas, so we wouldn't have to babysit.
Oh yeah, because you're not in town. Can't watch the
That's
grandbabies. You're
right.
not in town.
You got to keep them yourself. Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
like that. That's I need to put that in my toolbox for later.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing that when you get older, if you got if you got a nice if you got a nice pension or something like that, it's something to work on. But the thing now is you got to have alternative sources of income. That messes up everything.
Well, that actually kind of brings us to our conversation tonight because, well, while a lot of us still celebrate Christmas, or maybe we don't celebrate Christmas, but we do acknowledge that everybody's doing that. What I don't see is we don't celebrate Kwanzaa. And I'm not here to tell anybody to celebrate Kwanzaa, especially since I've come into all sorts of information about origins and founders. But it is in the principles that I find that if we did do these things a little bit more disciplined, then alternative forms of income and sources of income, these things would be very easy. And then we could powernomics, and then we could do these other things. But we don't. We try very hard not to. And I don't get it.
Well,
I need there.
I remember when it started back when my kids were little. We would do the Kwanzaa thing and try to get them to talk and all that type of mess. But then, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay, 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 pops. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boom, come on. Back playing their toys. Boom. Where's my Star Wars? Where's my electric train? You got my stuff. Go, pops. Go and find Walgreens and give me some batteries. Give me some batteries. Everything's closed today. Pop, get to Walgreens and give me some batteries. Back then when kids played with toys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different nowadays. I was really surprised the other day. I was looking at Disney Channel and they had a commercial for toys. I said, what? For girls. Nobody's buying toys. What is this? I don't know. Maybe your kids like them. The babies. Now the babies and your puppies, they might like a toy. Babies and puppies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on the child. My brother's, I think they're minimalist. They don't have a lot of things that you don't need. So you don't see a lot of toys at his house, even though he has 3 boys in different ages. And he's never had a bunch of toys at his house. But at my house, they have all sorts of toys and blocks and whatever, sensory, non-sensory, books, just a lot of stuff. And I think that all of the minis are well-rounded, and his children don't have as much stuff as my children do, as much as they all have access to us, in our time. And then, when they want to do something, we're not in their way. So maybe that's it. It has nothing to do with the toys, or has everything to do with all of it. I don't know. But
well, the thing is that I really think it's important. I remember back in the day when they used to say the Japanese and Asians didn't have an imagination,
mm-hmm.
And they said that that's one of the reasons that Asians, couldn't produce certain things. But then all of a sudden they got an imagination. They started doing anime, and to me they make some very good anime, very real life like anime, But the thing is, this is that, like I said, when the kids was little, you do the Kwanzaa thing, you give them the word kunachakalia and all that type of good stuff. Yeah, pops, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, what do you think about that? Well, come back here. Where you going? After a while, you get tired of saying, come back here. Yeah, I already said, okay, I got this. And they're sitting there, and you're trying to get them to talk, and they're holding the favorite toy that they got this Christmas, or they holding that game. Damn.
That's a good point, because how do you follow Christmas? And it's not the best thing. Especially for a child who is probably hesitant to even say, the reason for Christmas is to spend time with family and give, like the good reasons, not the presents or what they're
See,
getting, right?
yeah, see, back in the day when I was little, okay, that's Jesus' birthday, and then by the '60s, all the Black Power people just to destroy the children of the world. It's no such thing as Santa Claus. Damn, everybody learning. Yeah, daddy, you heard that song, Mommy's Kissing Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn, didn't you know that was your daddy? Didn't you know that's your father doing that? Come on, don't say it so loud. Don't say it so loud. You know.
That
But
is funny, and that's kind of crazy. But look, with the Japanese, I wonder, do you think that it was?
they do Christmas too.
Well, I'm trying to figure out why they said that they don't have creativity, and they have manga and
That's
anime.
today. But back in the
So
'70s,
in the 70s. So then
yeah.
what happened? What gave them their spark?
I don't know. I don't know what gave them that spark because back then, in a sense, the main thing was the mechanicals. Like Starman. They used to make mechanicals and stuff like that. But then they started blooming. Somehow they got an imagination. I don't know when and how. But that used to be the biggest thing in the '70s when I was in college. That's what they would talk about. The professors, the lack of an imagination. But then, in a sense, the Japanese they just started balling. And
Mm.
and now in a sense, their anime is I love their anime. And but some of it is a little heavy. A lot of it is kind of heavy. A lot of it is to make you think. I like anime that makes me think.
I too like anime that makes you think, and I like anime over American cartoons any day, especially cartoons
Yeah,
of today, because it is at least you're getting a storyline. It's not so flash, 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 flash,
yeah.
different things happening. I know some animes I was having to wait 5 different episodes before the goddamn fight, and it's like, come on, man, is this? It's more talking, but that's
Yeah,
when I'm younger, and then you go back and you watch it, and it's character development, and there's depth. They're
yeah,
talking about the reasons why, and all these other different things. So it's
yeah. But a lot of people they like Goku fight. No, I don't. I want something to make me think. I want something to make me think. But again, our cartoons. But with our cartoons, they just threw stuff together. They didn't give them a story. They didn't give them a storyline. And they didn't really make any sense. They just would give you some characters.
mhm.
They may try to give you some laughs, maybe. But they weren't funny. They weren't funny. The old Bugs Bunny and all that, they were funny. What up, Doc? They were kind of funny in a sense, and
Yeah,
they were funny because they dealt with themes that you can understand. I think that again in the '60s when everything got open. See the thing that destroys your whole childhood is when you learn about sex and have sex. Once you learn about sex or have sex, especially after you have sex, you feel as though for some reason there's some sort of collapse of your synapses. Dun, dun, dun. And
it,
then you
it
say,
can it can crush, right? It can
yeah,
completely crush your what you thought things were going to be or look like, depending on when.
yeah, and it crushes everything because your mind is on something in a sense that is important, but something in a sense that it takes away your freedom. Because see, before you have sex, you have a great freedom. And what I mean by that is you have great freedom to think, to concentrate, to imagine, and things like that. After you have sex, you don't have time to imagine things. You just try to make sure that you go through life and you try to make sure in a sense that you can perform or whatever. Instead
Hmm.
of in a sense being able to create, who you are. What are you about? And this is I think something that really ruined things. And I think that today, in a sense, just like today you see the little babies in a sense. When I was growing up, some people were stupid. They would want to, hey, Johnny, 2 years old. Johnny, say motherfucker, motherfucker. Isn't that cute? No, that's not cute.
No, it's not cute.
And then later when he started cussing you out,
you mad, right? No,
right,
you taught him how to do that, right?
And so then I don't know. People just do silly things. I remember my, I don't never show pictures of my kids except on Facebook, maybe. But it's just interesting. It's interesting things, love, life, and how do you love? I mean, how do you love? That's a very interesting thing because see, most of the time they don't want us as men to talk about love.
Mm-hmm.
That's not supposed to be something we should talk about. We should talk about how we're. I don't know what they think we should talk about. I know what they think we should talk about. Nothing.
Nothing. I was gonna say I don't think they want you to talk at all. Actually,
yeah, that's what my father used to teach. A man don't talk. What? Clark. Yeah, pops. A man doesn't talk. Daddy-o, what do you mean? They don't. A man has few words. What?
But look, isn't that you doing different than the generation before you? So like we're doing it and then we're also not doing it, passing on the tradition or not. He tried to pass it on to you and you were like, mm-mm.
But it was just like eating pig feet and pig ears and pigtails.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not eating that stuff when I get older. I don't want to eat all that pig feet, pigtails, pig ears and stuff. And then, and then what happened, Eve, is that by 80, they started making that like gourmet food and stuff. You couldn't hardly afford neck bones. And don't say nothing about trying to buy oxtails, even though
buying oxtails is crazy. It's crazy.
And Tariq always try to make it act like the only people who eat oxtails is people from Jamaica. You're dumb. We all like maybe he is right. Maybe they can afford them over there. I don't know, but
maybe that's there. You go.
$20, and the package is this big.
Yeah.
You're looking where
oxtails is crazy.
But
go ahead.
But I don't buy them because I can't cook them. My wife, I don't know that. Why do y'all spoil people? Eve, why do you women spoil your man and cook food real good, and then you don't tell them the secret? Or maybe we should have been looking. But why do you do that? Why do you do that?
I'm so glad you asked. Right, I just had this conversation with the Minis earlier today. Literally, I sat them down and I told them I guess I have a couple. It's one of our family's secret ingredients, right? And I told them, and they said, "Why did you tell number 5? He's gonna tell everybody." And I said, "He's not even paying attention to us right now." But anyway,
he was paying attention. He was jotting it down. I'm gonna go tell everybody.
But with you guys, I think if you pay attention, you'll know exactly what to do. Because tonight, I guess it was a create your own noodle bar of sorts. At least he didn't like the seasoning I had on my noodles, and I said, "Well, here's the seasonings, all of them. Do what you want to do." And he made some noodles that he liked to eat, and I guess they were fine. And I guess
you got a little chef there.
A thing or two, maybe putting some.
You got a little chef. You got a little chef there. Remember that's what make kind of men the chefs, because a lot of times we want to do things different. I remember when I used to cook. Well, I gotta cook now. But when I used to just cook occasionally, I used to like to cook these and always make the Christmas colors, red and green.
So red and green. So you got your red peppers and your green peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or get some of those get some of the red onions and stuff.
Okay. Red onions, and do you use green onions too?
Right. I remember the kids. Some of my kids' friends would tell people, yeah, Mr. Winters, he cooks those gourmet meals. It wasn't gourmet, but I guess when you come from a home where mama just slopping that shit out, hell, got to get it out, got to get it done. Plus, plus I could be creative then, because I had somebody that would eat it, once. Now that my wife is gone, I mean, your grandkids and children, they don't like what you like, you know, and a lot of times in the sense of then I don't cook as good as I used to. I don't think.
Well, you only cooking for you now, right? So
Yeah,
what you said. So I think that we cut corners when it comes to ourselves. When you're cooking for somebody else, you probably really want them to like it. You probably doing a little bit more. I know some of y'all out there, y'all do extra for your own plates, and I guess we could talk about that. But I think the rest of us, we might cut some corners when we're making our own food,
yeah.
and then when we're making food for somebody else, you want it to be good. You don't want them to be like, oh, I didn't like that. Or,
It is. You don't want to be like outfit. I think that's what made Kwanzaa so interesting. Is that it was made by Mulana Karinga, and he was a known op. He was a known op.
right.
Everybody suspected him of being an op, but at the same time, he created something that was monumental. I remember when it first came out. And when I was teaching I was at Iowa State. I was director of the Black Culture Center there, and we around Christmas we had our Kwanzaa party and all that type of stuff. And then you try to do it in your house with your kids. But it looks like if you had to take people out and they have to go to it, I think it works out better. I think, but when you do it in your own home, when you're dealing with your own kids individually, they don't look like they really think about it or absorb it that much. They might remember the words and stuff, but they don't really think about the meaning. But when you're in a group, I think that's what really, I think it influences the kids and it makes them internalize, Kwanzaa, the days of Kwanzaa more when you're
Well,
going to an
absolutely.
affair.
That's an absolute fact because I've been celebrating, or we've been celebrating Kwanzaa for like let's just say like like 9 years. And in the 9 years, I think maybe it only really started sticking after they started going to a Black school, because the school that they go to talks about the principles, doesn't talk about Karenga. I don't think he talks about them in any other
Nah.
form, or, but we definitely talk about, self-determination and, what's your purpose? Are we spending with us first and circulating the dollar? He's got a very nice curriculum, and I don't want to say that it's based off of Kwanzaa because it's not, but they're hearing these words, and Kiswahili, I guess, was supposed to be the African language that's like universal African language, but I don't
Well,
know what happened to that because I've seen on Twitter, well, I guess specifically on Twitter, the Africans saying that they don't speak Kiswahili. So I'm like, God damn it, I've been learning Kiswahili for no reason. Y'all motherfuckers don't even
they
speak this shit.
they are speaking in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, but it was very popular back in the day, and back that was the Black Power line. You see, whenever, whenever you create any type of curriculum, whenever you create a discipline, you have to have a language for that discipline. For
Mhm,
example, if you're studying Arabic culture, you're going to study Arabic. So
mhm.
then what happened is that back in the 60s, because of the fact that Swahili was so easy to learn, unasema Kiswahili, uh, to Kiswahili, because it was so easy, it's rhythmical, it's not as tonal like now. Yoruba, Hausa, you got to go tone. I might Mandy, bah, bah.
Did
That
you just
means to eat
say
and to
English?
go. Which one did I do? Do I want to eat or do I want to go? Because it's a tonal language. So
Okay.
so in the tonal languages, it's how you pronounce. It's how you
Hmm.
pronounce the word, how you put emphasis on certain vowels to give them meaning. And that,
Right.
but Swahili,
Yeah, it's
you know,
just, it is what it is. Right.
yeah,
Right.
and you don't have to go to that glottal, like Bismillah, ya Rahman, ya Rahim, Link, ya Din, ya
Hmm.
Akina Imbuduak, and that's fine. Hadana Saladul Mustekum. Salatu ala Zinenota Ahim. Karel Mahadu, Wala Darling. You know, Arabic, you had to go through all that. You
I
know,
was like, is that Arabic?
yeah, that
So
was Arabic. You had to go through all that stuff when you can just say, Nina Semi Kiswahili. To Semi Kiswahili?
didn't just say the same thing. You did not just say I do you speak Arabic?
No, I didn't say speak Arabic. I was saying the Fataha. That's the prayer.
Okay. I was like,
Mm.
oh my God, all those sounds.
See that's what you're supposed to declare. You know, Muhammad is the prophet and of God, and God is the prophet. Whatever. But the thing is this is that it's back in the day I was really into that. I got my for my master's was in Swahili. You know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I used to be in that. So when I got out of university, I was writing Swahili and I could write French. You know, and then but I would take my time and I had better pronunciation and I
Mhm.
could, you know, maybe I was thinner too. But anyway, but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
but
Um, but I do think that Kwanzaa, it's a very interesting holiday. We have a new holiday, a new holiday, right? So if
Rudder
Kwanzaa
Sussy,
is, go ahead.
Rudder Sussy.
Right, we've got a Sussy, and I wished you happy Sussy, Sussy.
It begins tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I thought it was the day before.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
day before, something like that. Rudder Sussy, that's what Tariq was trying to get started.
right. And
Mm.
I think it's a great holiday. I think that we need to do more to take over or rename or redefine. This is I've been talking about it on, with you for our reality checks. The delineation is not just what we call ourselves, but it is gonna have to be across all of the areas, because
Yeah.
you won't be able to hold your position any other way, right? The Mata in the chat, that's an example right there. We don't have any um, control over any of these areas until we take control, or at least stake our claim and then basically say, fight us on it. Most people are not going to want to fight, but
Yeah.
when they know that this is something that you're going to fight over, that's when they realize how serious the stakes are. So I don't know. Origins of holidays, the founders of holidays, does that matter? And that's why people don't want to celebrate? Or is it just the contrarian aspect of it all? You're doing this, so I'm gonna do this.
Well,
Because
I think that it's a as I said before, back in the day, I just found, I don't know, probably I don't know how you do it, but I just found when you're taking your family out to maybe a school or maybe a church, or and they're with a group of people, it's internalized more than when you just have everybody do that during the week after, because I mean, how long is the conversation going to go? I mean, 2, 3, it's what, maybe, let's say you got maybe 5 kids. What do you think about Shalia?
right,
I think his
right,
hard work is good. What do you think? Okay, well,
right.
it's done. It's
And then
done.
it's over, and then you light the candle, and then you move on, and
Yeah,
then it's like,
and they back playing the toys. But then when you go out and you're at the ceremony, you're at a church or school. Like when I was like I told you, when I was uh, director of Black Coaches in Iowa State University, which I never should have took that job. But anyway, everybody's coming, they're excited, but what's also, here's something else that's very interesting. It also was important. It has even greater importance when you're living among the enemy, like when you're on a college campus and things like that, and you want to have your own. You want to have your
mm-hmm,
own,
mm-hmm,
and you want them that they can't really participate now.
right,
Nah, I got some candy, and you can't have any. How about that? It's like having some candy, and you can't have any. And so when you're having that Kwanzaa ceremony, and you're on campus, and everybody, Black Power, baby,
right,
yes,
right,
and
right.
It didn't. I don't know how it was when you was at university. You know.
No, I mean that's real. It's kind of like the exclusionary event.
Right, right. Keeping them out. You want to keep them
Right.
out. They can't join.
That you can't do right. But now it's a lot of people who just go through the motions. And
Yeah.
I don't I personally don't want to pass on just going through the motions of anything. I don't like that we've wasted so much time. I don't like that we've got people who, will just talk about what they know to be the fix or to, I'm sorry. It's like the Black people who celebrate Black History Month. I think Black History Month is great for people who need Black History Month, right? I think all the holidays are great for people who need these things. Now, the holidays that I really celebrate and like, winter solstice, the spring equinox, the harvest season. I think that these things we should. Why aren't you? But maybe you don't do the things that I do. So I would get that too, right? If you're not doing these things, then they wouldn't be important to you to celebrate. But
that was part of the Aquarian culture. Agrarian culture. That was part of the whole idea that you were in commune with nature, and you were studying the calendar and things like that. Sometimes I think about that. I know Yoshimad. They they. I used to talk about that the Maya was black, and I broke down the Maya language, and then Yoshimad and some other people in the group, they started taking the token, doing the token horoscope. They damn, wait a minute, what? They took it a step further.
Oh, you talking about the like where it's like a red dragon?
Yeah.
Yes.
They started the they went and started getting the Mayan calendar and doing the Mayan horoscopes and the Mayan days, and you just say, damn, wait a minute. Well, I'm glad that's where they went, but I was talking about something else. And but see, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of communication. That's the beauty in the sense of coming together. Like the thing is, this is that I found that like I know my daughter-in-law, she really loves this. She really loves this show. And and then my son always said to my oldest son, Pops, he's only looking at that because he thinks that she's pretty. He thinks that Eve is pretty. I said, well, hey, nothing wrong with that. At least we got one viewer.
Right.
Viewer. Yeah, but he's not looking at the show for you, Pop. He's not looking at you. He's not hearing the Black Power. All he wants to do is look at that beautiful face. I say, hell, I'll take them any way they come. But
that's kind of we've got some family dynamic things, I think, in the Black Power family, in the Black family in general. But no, I'm glad you listen. Maybe we can have some reality checks that just in general that keep happening, and then maybe we will move to something that makes more sense. But I don't know why Karenga picked the day after Christmas. I never thought about it like what you just said with your kid playing with the toys, trying to talk to them about determination or purpose or working hard.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? I got this cool ass toy right here.
That's why it works better when you get them out the house. When you got a community, when you got see a lot of that is community building. And I don't know. It was much easier. It looked like it was much easier in the 60s and maybe especially 70s. It was much easier in the 70s to build up community. By 1980, a lot of times people didn't want to go that way, even on college campuses. It was hard. It was hard to get people to really want to participate, really want to function, and they thought that was that's boring, But
you don't think it's because they knew Karenga's an op? Because
no.
So they always knew he was an op, but fine, holiday anyway, because it's a good holiday. And then it just gets boring because there is no
community,
razzle dazzle or community, like you said.
Yeah, they knew it because what is? I mean, see, the whole point is this: is that I believe in setting an example, and
Mm-hmm.
so what you see with Clyde Winters is what you get, but that's not what everybody always wants. Most people love a Dr. Umar. He's got two baby mamas and what they say about maybe 4 or 5 kids and shit, and even starting a college for years, and then he
He's been
closed down
starting
the
this school
college.
for years.
He closed down the college, opened up the college. I was looking at a video today that said, "How are y'all out there? I'm gonna tell y'all about Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar has had $1 million and he hasn't opened that school yet. He did open it for about 2 weeks and he closed it. But the thing is, this is that you know, do we want to dream? Do we want to dream, or do you want reality? You see,
Right.
but just like I hear a lot of people, they keep telling they keep getting on a lot of times with Tariq Nasheed. We need we need we need a think tank. 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 They don't even understand is that the thing that makes a think tank a think tank is that people are thinking, but people have the time to think. Leisure time. Remember,
Right.
it's leisure time. See,
Yes.
just like you would probably you get a lot of good ideas, but if you had a grant where you could just sit around the crib and go to work and sit in your
Right.
office, and you're getting paid to sit and think instead of in a sense getting paid to get a headache and come home tired because your
Right.
mind has been working to kind of keep the kids interested and trying to oh, I didn't teach that lesson, I got to reteach it, and trying to think how you can reteach it and all that type of ish. Oh yes, it would be wonderful, but
You're right. Though. They know that they know that it's our resources that is the winning move. Even if we weren't to ever get a check, right? Just making the playing field even would make things askewed. And when I say even, I mean you've got people who will look at an application, see the name is a black name, and they'll toss it to the side. So already we're starting uneven. But if you take away all of that stuff, things would naturally askew because of how dope we are. But then inside of that, we've got, well, we don't have time, like you said. And my best ideas have come when I'm comfortable and happy and full, and like I'm not pressed for time.
yeah.
Oppositely, I've come up with some really cool things that I think maybe if I had more time it would have been that much better, but because I didn't have any time and there was no other option, and you still have to make it do what it do, things still get done. But
Thank you, Eve, because see, you're helping my show out. Create So Far says, yes, Eve is a beautiful sister. That is sure to make young brothers heads turn. Yeah, yeah. Keep coming. Keep coming. Yeah, she's over there. She's over there. She's over there. Yeah, she's over. Yeah, stay here. Okay. Stay here for the conversation. You got to look. Yeah. Yeah. But Hard Cole says, Dr. Maya loves Maulana Karinga and all the evil that he stood for. She keeps having him on and making excuses for his having tortured black women. I mean, here's the whole point. I was today I like I said, I wasn't going anywhere today, but then my third son said, I'll get him out. And so then my third son, he said, I'll get him out. And so he said, Pops, are you coming or not? Okay, so I went over. And then they surprised me with the hat and everything. But because I wasn't going to do anything.
You are
But then while we were there and they were talking about, but what about the fact is that you guys are always talking about, that the black women, we should treat them right. But y'all was out using those black. We was playing a lot of music from the 90s and the 2000s. And that was it was popping then. And they said, well, y'all, they said, well, y'all's out there using them and all that type of stuff. So what was that right? And I said, well, hey, what do you guys think? I mean, you were the ones out there. I mean, damn, I was what? In the 90s, I was 40 some years old. And I was married to your mom. So y'all was the ones out there. Well, probably can excuse your old gray ass. But anyway, but the whole point is this: is that we create the hoes, we create the hoes, but then we don't want to love the hoes, but we create them.
We create the hoes. We don't want to love the hoes.
We don't like no hoes, but you create them, and then and you create same thing with creating the baby mamas, because I'm gonna always feel, fellas, you can get mad at me if you wish. I think most women only have babies because some brother makes them feel that he really wants to be with them. Some brother makes them feel that he really wants to be with her, and she relaxes. And the minute she relaxes, and don't get that Jimmy cap, the minute she relaxes, it's over. And so then, what do you want? What do you want? And so to me, in a sense, I always felt that you're creating a lie. And why you creating a lie by you're using that person, but then at the same time you're talking black power, or you're talking, we got to be down for the people, we got to be down for the community, we got to be down for making sure that everything works. No, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. But the thing is, this is that how do you connect that thing? Can you get damn? But that's what we're doing, Create So Far says the 90s, that time was debauchery. The period of Rum Shaker, Doo-Doo Brown, shake what your mama gave you, plus more foul mouth hip hop. That was mainly coming from Florida. Come on now, that was Luke. Come on now.
I was gonna say Doo-Doo Brown. That sounds like not my uncle. And that guy. It's so Luke. Crazy how things come full circle.
Yeah.
They want to say he's got relevance in the community, which is why Kamala met with him, and that's why Fat Joe's using him and things that he said.
They're immigrants.
Right. All of them are immigrants, right?
I have nothing against him. I have nothing against immigration. I have nothing against immigrants. I'm all for that, but I'm just saying is that they weren't part of the culture. And because they weren't part of the culture, they didn't see it. Tomorrow on my show, family, I'm going to talk about our culture. I think that's what's on for the show. I'm going to talk about our culture. Our culture is a culture of innovation. Our culture is more than just what people think. Our culture is a culture of dynamism, in the sense that that's one of the reasons why our music is changing. I really think we're at a hiatus. We're at a hiatus at this point because I don't really. It's some new musical genre that I think has to come, and the thing is, this is that that's one of the reasons why I think that if you notice, that's what all the rappers today. None of them have BA. They're all mainly except for what is that guy? That one guy from California, and and then you got but most of them are all immigrants. They're either from Africa, Jamaica, or Canada. And so then, yeah, and so then I think it's about time that there's a revolution. Hip hop is when I think about as far as it can go. I think that hip hop, because of the fact in the sense that it's mainly in a sense dominated today by immigrants, that it has no future. What I mean by that is that most of our instruction did not come from going to study music at Howard University or studying music at the University of Illinois or Wisconsin. Our greatest singers came through the church. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so then that's why I'm saying is that a lot of the music that they got today, you know what I mean? Like a lot of those people, as I said, are immigrants. Nothing wrong with being immigrants. But the thing is, this is that when you're an immigrant, let's just face it. Understand this. You see, I have a limit. I have a limit. I have a limit on what I might do because I feel that if I do something too stupid, it may reflect on my family. And I've always had this. But if you're a person who immigrated over here, you're going to do whatever it takes to get what you want. That's one of the reasons why you found, in a sense, we had the Italians and we had the Jews who started the mafia, right. Because the fact, in a sense, is that they were immigrants and they were going to do whatever it took to get what they wanted. Just like I always find it interesting that Jeff Ford, who started the Disciples, and not Disciples, Blacks on Range, other guy that started Disciples, and they became the Crips and the Bloods. That they were both started by Catholic priests in Chicago. That nobody has looked at this. Why did they send those Catholic priests to get those degenerate things popping in the Black community? Because we was talking about Black power, and then they came in, and the Jamaicans, they created crack.
Right.
When the Jamaicans created crack, they set the world on fire. And again, that was a Jamaican invention, and then then a lot of FBA started saying, okay, they got crack, we'll make Ready Rock. They were still cooking coke or whatever, but the thing is, this is that they created a period of amnesia, a period in a sense of decline because of the fact, in a sense, that we failed, as you said earlier, to protect the culture. They failed, in a sense, to make in a sense, cultural traditions that can last. You see, right. And so then today these people are trying to make Sexy Red, Glorilla, immigrants, Sexy Red, Glorilla, make all these people, in a sense, who are not of the culture. And then they're trying to say, oh, you got a degenerate culture. They're not of the culture.
They're not of the cult, right?
They're anchor babies. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't get it twisted. But the thing is that we had to be honest with ourselves. We have to really try to accept and acknowledge reality, the truth, so that our people, our children, can see what's going on. I mean, just like when they had that video and had those little bitty babies, copying off Sexy Red and all that type of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, look at these people's background. You see? See? Yes, you can. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. That's part of their culture. They're immigrants. Immigrants come to take. What did that sister say? That sister from Africa, she did a video a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah. She said that if y'all are just giving it away, then of course they're coming for your stuff.
She said, I'm not going to America to be friendly with the blacks or the whites.
Right.
I come over to get what I can take it.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that because that is an immigrant mentality. But when you're of the soil, in a sense, you can't feel like that. When you're of the soil, you know that there are certain examples you want your kids to do. You don't want your kids out there, rump shaking and all that type of stuff. That's why it took Luke. That's why Luke had to get that going, And and that thing, but that thing down, what I mean? Dang on. And so, but again, in a sense, it's managing your culture and understanding who and what you are, understanding your history, and see, that's the whole point. You see, because of the fact that we don't have a church, we don't really have a church. And we could never have a church. And we could never have a church because our slave masters was bastardizing our children. Our slave masters, they would make you have sex with your sister, with your mother, with your father, with your brother. You see? And that's why in certain communities like West Virginia, Kentucky, you still see a lot of incest. And they see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I see something wrong with it, but that's because of my upbringing.
Right. Culture's a little different.
Yeah.
And some things turn into tradition, like we talked about earlier. And it's up to every generation that comes next to say, no, that wasn't right, or yeah, that was right. I over the summer there was this whole Blacks are not a monolith Eve and just anybody who wants to put us all in the same category. Flat blackness is done. We're not doing racial identifiers anymore. And I'm all for it, as much as monolith is, I think, a word that people keep hurting themselves on. We do need some pillars. Some things need to be constant, unless you are just a person who doesn't want to see yourself or your things in the future. If you want to give all these things away, sure, get rid of it.
And see, like Sexy Red and the other rappers, because of the fact they didn't come through the black church, they don't have any grounding. Sure, as I said before, yes, the black church, in a sense, it is a ruckus place. But the point is this: is that it gave you grounding. That's
Right.
where you learned your vocals. That's
That's
where you learned, in a sense, to sing like a nightingale. And so because of the fact that they didn't go through the black church, they just think my blank is brown, my thing is pink. I mean, that's why Sexy Red can have those lyrics, because they don't have, in a sense, any idea about morality. Because see,
that's
you
crazy.
have to have morality. Yes, you had to have morality.
That is excellent. That's an excellent observation. I hope, Dewan, if you ever watch Reality Check, I hope this is the one you watch, and I hope that you break this down a little bit further, because you learned if you could sing at church, and you learned if you couldn't at church, and you
Right.
learned, you did learn couth and just
That
tact.
that
How
choir was a blip. That choir was something else. To be
Mhm.
in the black choir was something else. You was getting all the training you needed to be in the.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely. And discipline and a lot of different things that you don't see nowadays. I wanted to have a conversation. I think I had talked to you about it, about sports, um, because I think that it is the spectators who have the most thoughts about things. Not the players. The players don't get a say per se, unless you just a strong player. You can make your team move in the way you want them to move, or need them to move, or whatever it is. But a lot of times you've got the people in the stands trying to call the plays and say what needs to be better or done. And these people have not lifted a finger, would never get on the court or on the field, or they would never. But
Yeah.
no, they've got the most to say, because they know better. And that's I think, again, these blips or glitches, they're across. It's the same glitch in all of these different environments.
Right. And it's like this sister. I saw this video. She said, "Do you guys know why? Do you know why black men black athletes are with the white women? That's because they want to be in the proximity of white, and they feel that until they are in the proximity of the white, even if it's on their knees, or even if it's between some white thighs, that at least in a sense they feel that they are superior. I mean, the light skinned girl is not enough anymore. You have to have it. And so when you think about this, is that as I told you, a white man or woman cannot love you,
Right.
because to love you they had to respect you. But how can they respect you when they've been taught to denigrate you? But
Right.
y'all can get a financial relationship. You can get a financial relationship. And then the way marriage is a financial relationship. But sometimes you hope that it can turn into friendship or something more.
Right.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's all up in the air. But the thing is this, though, is that it's very important, in a sense, that we understand that
Mhm.
that that what do you want? What are you trying to make? What are you trying to perceive? And so again, with Kwanzaa starting tomorrow, it's good. But as I said, it's better when you're going somewhere place. In the
Mhm.
home you can do it, but it's in one ear and out the other. And the kid is in his room playing with that toy, or he's with his TV, and he's got his everything moving.
Right.
But I kind of noticed that I noticed it was interesting this year. They didn't play up PlayStation so much. I was kind of surprised. They didn't play up PlayStation that much, and or maybe I just was on the wrong place. I noticed that Disney, they brought in some toys. So I don't know. Is it nostalgia? Are they trying, in a sense, to move people in a different spot? I don't know. I don't have any little kids. I don't have any young adults, so I don't know what's happening out in that world. And
Right.
like I said, is that I mean, I go over here. I might go over their house, but I'm not, there all the time or whatever. So it's
Right.
kind of complicated.
Yeah, I definitely think the communal aspect, that helps with some of these, um, with the understanding of what it is that's happening. But if people really just leave the holiday to the day that it's being observed, then I think you'll have a society that looks like what we have right now. Um, I think the only reason I like Kwanzaa is because it's something that I think as Black people who give a damn about Black people, we should be doing these things 365,
Yeah,
right? Same
but
with
just,
Black History Month, 365.
just
What?
I'm gonna tell you something. I think Kwanzaa really would have really shot up, and Kwanzaa would have became in a sense legendary if it wasn't for the fact that the kids are out of school until
Mm-hmm.
until New Year's. Because
Right.
see, the thing is, this is that if they would have had to go back to school the day after Christmas and Kwanzaa began, then the teachers would be really playing it up. They would be really impacting the children, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it would have became a legendary holiday, you know. But I
It could
think by
have
the
been. Yeah.
simple fact that most people are doing it in their home on an individual basis, and then and then I mean it's just silly. Okay, just like you go to an Afrocentric school, it'll be, I mean, damn, it's January 1st and you're starting Kwanzaa. Come on, children, time for Kwanzaa. And then, I thought, and then one of them raised her hand, Miss Eve. This wasn't Kwanzaa
Wasn't
supposed to be
Kwanzaa last
celebrated?
week?
Wasn't Kwanzaa supposed to be celebrated back in the day? And always somebody. I remember when I first started teaching. I was teaching at Carver High School. And I was 22. I'm 22 and I got kids in my class that are 21. When I graduated from university, I'm 22 and they're 21. Damn, I can see them at the club. But anyway, I was out there teaching, man. I was really getting down. Yeah. I know how to teach. And then this guy in the back said, Mr. Winters. He had on some sunglasses, sunglasses and stuff. He had his hat on the desk. He didn't put his hat in his I had the hat on his desk, so he could put his brim in when he walked down the hall. Said, Mr. Winters. My mom and my auntie Dan went to junior college. They got their little associate degree and they ain't got no damn job. Why should I be listening to you talking this education mess? And I had just got out of college. I didn't have an answer for him. And I hated him. Now,
Didn't
now I
have
know that I should have said, oh, it's like money in the bank. It may not be accruing, the successful opportunities for you today, but by the simple fact that you have that diploma is like money in the bank. It's like insurance. It's something that's going to really be productive for you in the future. I could have said that, but I didn't. I was left blank. And he's
right.
sitting back there, yeah, I got this teacher. He dumb like the rest of them. No, 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 you know. So I don't know. It was very interesting, very interesting. But see, the point is this though, is that I do believe that we do need these schools, and the only problem that we have in a sense in terms of really making Kwanzaa a really beautiful thing and having a lot of schools is that most of the time, we don't have the money to pay for that education, pay for those kids to go to those schools, and that's what limits the opportunities for our kids to really have an Afrocentric experience. Is that somebody got to pay the tuition. And we don't get that sugar daddy or that sugar mama that says here's $3 million.
True.
Because
We don't have that on these side of things. Not like that.
yeah, you look at a place like the Chicago Board of Education. I think that the annual budget is over $1 billion. You
Mm.
know, it's over $1 billion. And but I mean, when you got people like got people making $100,000 a year, if you work long enough, and and you got to pay that salary, then you got to pay, and see, that's not even the real salary. The real salary is not how much money you make; it's those benefits. They're paying for your medical, then they're paying for your dental,
right?
And so then a person may start as a teacher at 31,000, but you're getting over 50,000 in benefits. So it's much more complicated than people may believe. And so then that's what we would need to have really made Kwanzaa a sustaining holiday that would have really made Kwanzaa, very important, because see, it's not something that should be done in the home as a home experience. It's something that would work better if it was in a group and you had the kids, and then each person could have a different reason for why the word of the day is important, because they're just going to think of different things. And so the hands are up, the discussion is up. You can have a really good time. Whereas hell, when it's just your kids and they just they in a hurry to get back to playing with their trains.
Right.
Or whatever they like to do. All kids like different things, Or the Tommy rubber, he's trying to get back
to eating.
Mom, I want one of your cookies, not the cookies that you're giving us, the Oreos. I want one of your cookies, the good stuff.
Man, you just blew my mind. It's almost like they didn't want it to be great. So yeah, put it the day after Christmas. Put it for when the kids aren't in school and they don't get the compounding lessons from the curriculum, or just being around other people who may or may not celebrate, or who may celebrate the same thing.
But I think
that's crazy.
But I think when they thought about it in 1966, Mulana probably thought about the fact that you got their attention. You do have their attention, but it's temporary, because they want to get back to playing with their toys or playing with their games, or even got that girl who wants to get back to reading her book. See, I said girl, but anyway, that she got for Christmas. The boys want to get back with those, with the toys,
with their toys,
the boxing robots, and those games, and I don't know. It's very interesting. But again, like I said, is that, Kwanzaa is beautiful. Kwanzaa is important. But again, in a sense, is that it's something that needs to be where you can have a group of people so they can really share any experience, and they can really grow in it, and they can contribute to it. Because see, things work out better. That's like between you and your partner. Things work out better when you guys can have a good conversation. Sometimes a good conversation at 1:00 at night makes your day. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's a good conversation at 1:00 at night, because it was just the right time. The right time. And see, that's the thing. When you're in a relationship with someone, you long to have a good conversation. About what? A good conversation. Just a good conversation that can really make you feel, hey, that was good. That was good. That was cool. That was good. That was good. Yes. And I didn't even have to have sex to get him to stay up. That was good.
Sex is probably coming after that, but
no, it ain't coming after. It ain't coming after. Most women feel, in the sense, if they have sex with you, then you're required to listen. You got to stay woke. Yeah.
You gotta stay woke. That's funny.
But anyway, everything is funny. But it's beautiful. Kwanzaa is beautiful, and it's something that can unify people. And again, as I said, it would have been better if they would have thought about having it after the Christmas break was over, the Kwanzaa ceremony. But they felt that it was good because you had the attention of the kids. Yeah, but it's better in a group.
Yeah.
And then also once Christmas stopped being recognized as the birthday of Jesus, he was born in September. Okay, but we got December. But he was born in September. We got December. Shut up. We shut up. Shut it. Shut that man up over there. Get that. Shut him up. Shut him up. Get him out of here. You know? No. September.
No, it's I think the Black Power movement trying to wake us up with the truth, and maybe try to dispel some of these myths and fairy tales. It's going to go as far as the person who uncovers the truth,
True.
because I mean,
But see, but
no, you blew my mind with the whole keeping their attention when they just got the toy they've been wanting all year.
yeah,
How the hell would you follow up Christmas with anything that
right.
doesn't compete with that? And Kwanzaa, while I really like it and I think that these are things we need, my children are not thinking about that. And we don't celebrate Christmas, but that doesn't stop their grandparents from getting them Christmas gifts and, from them getting things from people. So
Right.
it's that was on the money. I'm glitching over here, Dr. Winters. You're just going to have to excuse me. It was a setup. It's a setup on purpose. They didn't want it to be great. Karanga didn't want Kwanzaa to be great, but they had to do something. If you're moving the masses and maybe they're going to move too quickly or farther than you wanted them to move, then you'd have to put something there to pause them or
You see,
make them slow
they
down.
they've always in a sense, for some reason, even not even, for some reason, our so-called leaders always feel that they have to emulate the Jews.
Mm.
And Kwanzaa was kind of like
Hanukkah.
yeah, it was like kind of Hanukkah in a way.
Right,
And
right.
so then, but you can't use them as a model. You can't use them as a model because we're of the soil. They're not of the soil. They're transient people. And because they're a transient people with a transient culture, then therefore, in a sense, those holidays, in a sense, were always about prayer and things like that. We didn't have that. We didn't have prayer in our things. When they do Shabbat, and when they do, in a sense, that other thing, it's prayer involved in that. It's community involved in that. It's
Mm-hmm.
people, and it's God focused. Once we don't. Christmas is not God focused. It's Jiminy Cricket, not Jiminy Cricket. It's Santa Claus focused, and so then it's a difference. Create So Far says, I hope Kwanzaa focus on less material items such as gifts that'll distract the kids, and instead of offer the gift of black togetherness. It would be good, but again, like I said, it's something that can't be done in the home. It has to be out somewhere. People should maybe organize at their church, organize at their community center, but have somewhere where people have to go. Because when people have to go somewhere, I think they'll concentrate more on that event, and it'll be more consequential. And I think that the child will have more material invested in it.
I agree with that, and that's coming from a person who celebrates Kwanzaa. The communal events, when the community's getting together, it definitely is a memory, a synapse that we can take with us. Now, I am gonna say that I've been red, black, and green to death this year. And if there is a time for a Pan-African type of color, maybe it would be during Kwanzaa, maybe, but during Juneteenth they wanted to red, black, and green me, and during the election they want to make our flag red, black, and green, and I'm they want us to be all one black, when we talk about what's owed to who and
But
from whom. But
but the colors of Christmas are red and green.
there you right. that's that's I guess is where I'm at. I'm these overlaps are it's repetitive, but then what are we repeating? Are we repeating some dumb something dumb, or are we doing something that makes sense? Is the mathing, or are we stuck on stupid? Because I think that, well, like you just reminded me, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa having the same day schedule or time on the calendar, when white
and
people have never.
and lighting the candles,
So they can follow Christmas with Hanukkah because of how they are in the home. But if we are really having to like pinch pennies and save up for one big thing, and
right.
can't do these things during the year. Why? Because we don't have resources. So again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. They know that we're resources deprived, and if they did actually make things even, they would be
Wait till
off.
wait till next week when they come out with the figures of people using their credit cards and all that type of stuff. I mean, it's going to be just immense. It's going to be just so much money that's going to be spent over a couple of billion. Over at least maybe $5 to $6 billion
Yeah,
just
that's
to
crazy.
just to pull this thing off. And
That's insane. And we gotta well, like my son, who so keenly pointed out that Thanksgiving is a holiday that it's supposed to make you buy more food than you need, right? That's really the whole reason for the holiday, is because he wants you at the store buying all this food. We have to, I guess, get to the bottom line of why we should be putting our time and
this is
energy and effort into it anyway.
when I was growing up, these were the three things that you wanted, that these were the three things you could find at we just had so much at everybody's house, the same shit.
Mm.
You was gonna find walnuts,
Apples and oranges.
pecan nuts. That's right, apples and oranges.
Mm-hmm.
That was Christmas.
That is Christmas. What do you mean that was Christmas? No, we haven't seen all of our family, but I do know that there's gonna be another shipment, packages of apples, nuts, oranges, and two of our minis are allergic to nuts, but it doesn't matter. That's just part of the Christmas stocking at this point. You got that. You're getting it. What do you mean you don't want that? Our kids like it because they like apples and oranges, but and me and my brother would look at that and be like, why do we keep getting fruit? Not knowing that it was, it's deeper than just getting some fruit. What if you didn't have an apple all year?
But I wonder, I don't know. I wonder, was it a significance back in the day, for it to have been a tradition in just about all the black homes, was it some sort of tradition that made that possible? It's just like New Year's. Everybody had New Year's. It was hoghead cheese. You had to have some type of hoghead cheese and stuff. You had to have black-eyed peas and all that. On New Year's. And this is something that you have. But like I said, when I was growing up, spaghetti and fish on Friday, chicken on Sunday. Go to anybody black house, that's what you saw. Spaghetti and fish on Friday, chicken on Sunday. That was at everybody's house, you see. But again, in a sense, is that but somehow in a sense, some of us, I guess, just started wavering, and we just started,
our own thing.
Yeah, moving away from those traditions. I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was. I think it was bad.
I think it was bad too, but it's kind of making me sad because, man, some of those traditions, or maybe it's because I went to Catholic school. That during Lent, which I guess is the season before. Is it the season before Easter? Like, I don't know I don't remember. I have memories. They're almost a blip at this point, but they did fish on Fridays. That was what all the white people that I was around did. So our niggas is doing the same thing.
That's what all the black people I was around did.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then you said chicken on Monday. I don't know about
chicken on Sunday.
Chicken on Sunday.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Fish on Friday.
Fish on Friday. Yeah, definitely was fish on Fridays. especially during Lent. And I don't know what the connection is there, but I just remember that the white people at the school didn't eat meat during Lent except for on Fridays, and the only meat that they ate on Fridays was fish. And that's crazy.
So I don't know, maybe, I hate now that I don't like to go to the library like I used to. That would be something that would be good for me to research. But back in the day, I used to spend so much time at the library, but now I'm lazy.
Oh.
Plus, you had to get all these permits, and you had to kind of, most of the libraries, they won't let you in, if you don't go, if you're not a student. And the best libraries are at the private schools, like University of Chicago and places like that. Maybe schools that are private. They'll let you can go into the reading room library, maybe. But there's nothing in there. You want to get in the stacks. Stacks is where they got the good books, I saw this. I was looking at this video the other day, and it was talking about the Islam and the Muslims, and I said, "Damn," they were talking about the Muslim in the Civil War, and just little things like that. But again, knowledge, power, and teaching, and that is so important. But also it's teaching our children these truths. And I really think if they would have made Kwanzaa, after the school break, I think it would have became such a super significant, holiday for all Black people. I'm going to tell you something, and you can disagree. I don't really think we need a June 16th. I don't think we need that junk. Because it still didn't free everybody. Still wasn't free in the border states. So get out of here. So
very true.
And so then so again, but see here, this is the problem, Eve, is that when you teach people these monumental lies, when you teach people these lies, like our parents taught us so many lies, then when you start to find the truth, it began with Santa Claus. When you start to find the truth, it's not funny.
That's true.
It's not funny because see, everything that you've been taught as being the truth of being real, after it begins to manifest itself as not being true and not being real, then therefore, in a sense, it creates within that child, what is really real? Are these people really real?
Right.
Has my dad really taught me the truth? What is this all about? And so then that's why I believe that you shouldn't lie too much with your children about things.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you have to be brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference.
Right.
But you shouldn't lie to your children.
It's in the blue box.
Because see, you don't want them to see. Remember, what is the number one rule in trying to fight a revolution from below? Above. Let me explain what I mean. A revolution from below means that you get the underclass people to want to see the revolution. Okay. A revolution from above is where you have, in a sense, the upper class, the middle class to go to get a revolution. Okay, how do you bring about a revolution from below? Based upon what? Contradictions. And the more you present contradictions to your child, the sooner you will lose that child.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, that's why you can't lie to them too much.
That's I had no clue that is the connection between winning a revolution or at least starting one.
Oh yeah.
But, maybe that is the rebellion that parents see with their child. It's a war of sorts because they're going against all the things that you've taught them, and maybe it's because these little lies they build up. And then, it all started with, you could have just took credit for those gifts that you slaved for all year. You didn't have to give the credit away. Or
they had it back in the 60s in Chicago. They had a place called the Topographical Institute. And at the Topographical Institute, they used to be talking about the King Alfred plan to us kids, like my job was to blow up the police station on 51st in Wentworth. But anyway, we're gonna blow it up, baby. But nobody ever gave me the dynamite. Revolution. But anyway,
he knew you was real. They said, no, don't tell Clyde where the dynamite is. He's really gonna go down there and blow
but he's gonna blow it up. Clyde, your job is to blow up that police station. See, that's why they got that police station on 51st in Wentworth. It's right next to the train station. So when they gather up the black people in Chicago and they take y'all to 51st, put y'all on the trains to the concentration camps, you are gonna knock out the gas station. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Damn, a bottle of gasoline is not gonna blow up a damn gas station. Boy, Eve, we were living in such a fantasy, but we were ready to die. We wanted to die. We had death wishes. You're 17 and you got a death wish to die in a revolution. You didn't want to die on your knees. You wanted to die throwing a Molotov cocktail or going up against an M16 with a 22 rifle or a BB gun or a zip gun. A zip gun, you got some wood. You got your pipe. You had to sand the pipe real good so there's no edges. Sand the pipe. Then you get a real strong rubber, and then you get a 22 bullet. He's gonna win the revolution, baby. Then they said, Clyde, Clyde. Yes, Mrs. Jones, my counselor. Do you know, I think we can get you in the University of Illinois or the University of Wisconsin. Which one would you prefer? Let me see. Yeah, but I did have a scholarship offer from the University of Colorado, but that's right. Coach Bonner told him that I was Black Power. So I didn't get there. You do the choice. Oh, yeah, they bought us off. They bought us off. See, America has what I call a rubber band theory.
Okay.
Whenever the country is about to be destroyed, they'll just stretch the rubber band a little bit.
Oh no.
Oh yes, and they'll let people move in and stuff. But then, like any rubber band, it contracts.
Right. What about the rubber band that pops though?
But the rubber band never pops.
Oh no.
The rubber band never pops because the thing is, this is that they moderated, they created.
Ew.
Yeah. So while they make you think that you're being revolutionary, remember the Topographical Institute had to have been controlled by the FBI and the CIA and police intelligence.
Right.
But they gave us army manuals and gave us manuals on guerrilla warfare. See,
and they wanted y'all to go out there and do the damn thing so that they could study and watch and learn. And
they had coordinates in every reality. They had coordinates so they could call in artillery on the post. They didn't want anything because see, let me explain to you. We are the majority in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We are the numerical majority in this country is FBA. It ain't Latinos and it ain't white folks. We're the numerical majority. And we've always been the numerical majority. Why else would South Africa that lives in a country dominated by black people, why would they send all their leaders over to America to learn how to control the Negro if we were a minority? But see, people don't think about that. Read for over a 30-year period, the census only showed black people increasing to 10 million. What? 10 million? 10 million? Get out of here. See?
10 million people on the left side of the street in Chicago.
For 30 years. For 30 years. The population never increased, but the European population was increasing. No, that's just all. It's all. You have to think you're a minority, so you stay in your place.
Mm-hmm.
But again, as I said, it's powerful, it's interesting. But again, I don't even know how the hell we got over there. This is Kwanzaa. And why is it? And its weirdo founder? Yes, he was a weirdo, but he was just like the average Uncle Tom, coconut. Like we got in a debate today when I was over my kid's house, and they said, Do you know the real Uncle Tom? Do you know the real Uncle Tom? I said, yeah, he was a hero. But why do we keep calling people Uncle Tom? Well, it became the slang.
Right.
Real Uncle Tom was a hero. But the thing is this, is that call him a coconut like the people in the Caribbeans call him. Coconut. That's a coconut.
That's a coconut.
He's a coconut.
That's
He's
funny.
brown on the outside, white on the inside.
White on the inside.
Yes, sir. It's a coconut. You want me
Oh,
coconut milk? You give me coconut milk, and I can be down with all the Negroes in the FBA, because you Negroes don't know nothing. Nothing.
no, this you do nothing. You gonna make your immigrant followers mad. You better stop.
They're not gonna be mad at me because I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm a Pan-Africanist separatist.
Hey.
See, people. Listen. Delineating is more Pan-African than anything, because I'm saying we all black, baby. So that's why people don't even understand. They don't even understand. See, the thing that gets people messed up is when they start saying that I'm a Choctaw, I'm a Cherokee, and I'm better than you. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I'm better than you. And I'm a Moor, and so I'm better than you. See, it's this whole thing about being better than you. But when you say FBA, Foundational Black American, that cuts out everything. That includes everybody. That's why being an FBA is a Pan-Africanist philosophy. It's not a separatist philosophy. See, but see, when you delineate yourself into one of those groups, then therefore, in a sense, you're blocking off your identity. You're blocking off the Pan-African spirit. They got it all mixed up. See, they got it all mixed up because they haven't thought of what they talk about. They talk about all type of mess, so they haven't really thought about it. Because you know why, Eve? They haven't taken the time to sit down and think about it. See,
get back to that time thing.
That's
They know
right.
that's the winning move right there. Give us a little bit of time to just breathe,
Right.
and then maybe we can get something to eat. Like just maybe we need a vacation of sorts. But there's this whole negative stereotype that I guess Black people don't take vacations until they're too old to enjoy the vacation. And
That's because that's when we get the money.
well, I mean, that makes sense too, but damn if people are not just, I guess, stealing
My
time.
my third son. That's all he does. Is Capo Cana, going to down to Mexico and all that type of stuff. Him and his wife, they vacation all over the damn place. What the
My
hell?
brother, he's always somewhere for some holiday with his wife. Well, they're a little slower on that now that they've got 3, but that they definitely are always somewhere. And I'm not mad at people who do that. I just think that, well, it's
hard to do it.
too earlier.
It's hard to do it on a teacher's salary. Let's put it like
that's
that.
for sure too. But if we don't have the time to think about the best way to move inside of the system that we know isn't working to our advantage. Maybe you think that it's working the same for everybody, but some people get a break every now and then. We're not getting any of those breaks. So it's
that's because we make
always
our breaks.
work.
Mm-hmm. We make our breaks, Eve. We make our breaks. You're a prisoner of war. See, an immigrant in a sense is a free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
An immigrant has opportunity because of the fact, in a sense, they want to give them stuff. See, they want to give them stuff to make you and I feel in the sense that we're being neglected. They want us in this. They bring over immigrants so that they can make you say, see what we're giving them? We're not giving you that. Don't you hate those Negroes? So you had to trick them. How do you trick them? You say, I don't give a damn. You're giving it to them, but you don't really mean it. The kids aren't going to get shit, so it doesn't matter. See,
that's a good point. But growing up, I always heard that we didn't have culture, and look at your diasporian cousins and look at all their culture. And now the internet showed me a video of a man taking a rinse off and in the urine and feces of a cow, and it's like, okay, y'all got some practices that I would not want to say I do at all.
I want to dye my hair. I want to dye my hair red. I got a sore throat, so give me some of that urine from that cow. And I'm mixing with some blood in the milk. Come on, baby.
I'm good on all those practices, buddy. I'm trying to tell you. I watched this African woman not tell me because she's telling me because I'm watching the video, but I watched her put cow dung all over her house, all over her floor and the walls. And I guess it's because it's got a cooling property and we don't waste anything over here. So they eat the cow and they use the cow. And I said, that's a little much. I don't know.
It keeps the insects out too.
Does it? I mean, if there are reasons that you would need to do these things, then yeah. But is it my culture? No. And then is your culture better than mine because you figured out how to put shit on walls to keep the bugs out? What if we don't have those bugs? Like it's differences. Right?
See, that's why tomorrow, I hope you'll catch my show. Tomorrow I'm talking about our culture. I'm talking about what our culture is. I'm talking about the creativeness of our culture. Our culture is a culture of invention. The whole world was modernized by us. Elijah McCoy, he invented in a sense the oiler machine that allows for factories to be able to be created.
Right.
Louis T. Lattimore, he worked in a sense with the what I think it was the light bulb. He made the light bulb work. Mm-hmm. He made electricity. And then Granville T. Woods, he made the telephone work. And so those are the three inventions that dominate world civilization. The whole civilization is based on us. That's why now that they got these black people who want to be basketball, football players, and rappers, that's why America has lost its intellectual base. See, they tried to tell you this lie that the boys in the university have never created, in a sense, the invention. See, a country's civilization is based off its inventions. Mm-hmm. See, that's why once the British became white, they stopped inventing shit.
Oh, I say that. It is a beautiful thing to know that it is because of us the rest of the world has been modernized. Then you can see that they want us to not associate that creative spirit with us as much as they'll show you an African who created a device that allows them to have something out of tires or something, some real third world stereotypical scene.
A robot out of cardboard. It's
right. It's like, oh, look at how he's been able to use the resources and they don't have anything. And look at what they could do when they come to America. No, how about you contain that over there, use some of that hard work to get these Asian people off of our necks, maybe,
But look at us. We invented the resistor, which is the chips that's running that led to the chips that's running all the computers. They can't even do AI shit with all our stuff. Yes, they need you. They need me. They need us. See, they need you. They need me. They need us. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that they made one mistake, is that because the fact in the sense is that they're not really allowing us to really be ourselves, then we're concentrate on areas that's pushing America behind. Nobody's making an invention. Most of the inventions in Japan, like their whole their radios and TVs. A lot of that shit was made by black people over here who took that shit over there. But
snap.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
I hope you break that shit down tomorrow because they
I'm
tried
not going to
to
go
tell
into
us.
that because I a lot of the receipts I've lost the receipts. To really go into how the Japanese, the whole thing, all that stuff, all that industry, it came from over here.
That makes a lot of sense though.
The
And then the
TVs, the
pause over
radios.
here, because all of our inventors were realizing that America is as racist as it's always been. So let me just
Yeah,
take my shit somewhere else. And all
it's
these
just
other
that
places are as racist, but they want to get further ahead than America. So the enemy of my enemy is not my
but they
enemy right now.
and they could buy it cheap. What's $1 million? And you're making a $500 million. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Damn.
but why am I gonna keep my idea? Why am I gonna keep my idea? And then I get number, like that. But you see one thing that they don't like these black people to make.
What's
You
that?
know, whenever they make those two things they don't like, making water out of the air
Mm-hmm.
and driving cars
Oh
off
yeah,
water.
making gas or any type of
Right. That's why they killed. Remember, that's
Yep.
why they killed that security guard up there
Yep. Yep.
what was that in Buffalo, New York.
Yep. Because that was the guy who made the water out of air, right?
No, he was. He was the one that was working around with the making the car could drive off water and stuff like
Oh
that.
wow. No, oh, so it was the out Midwest somewhere. The guy who was making the water out of air isn't that he mysteriously died.
But
Um
there's another guy that does it too, and he shows up in different places. They don't mind that machine, and you ain't gonna make no money off of that shit. They just didn't like. They do not like those machines. So remember, it's just like they keep talking about. We're going to do electric cars. Really?
mm,
Think about it. Really? An electric car go 400 miles, and then you got to find an electrical charge, and they don't
mm-hmm.
even have any damn electrical gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
don't like the EV. I don't like electric vehicles. I think it's too much technology right now it's easily manipulated or manipulatable so that we don't have control over things anymore. And I
but
personally
it's
don't like that stuff, but I don't know how to stop it.
but it's something that just think about. Think, come on, Eve. Clear. I'm gonna do my usual exercise with you.
Okay.
Take a minute, empty your mind. Just empty your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The number one money making resource in the world today is petroleum. Not
Right.
just for your vehicles, but for your medicine. That's what they use to make the plastic
Mm-hmm.
cases for our medicine. That's why pharmaceuticals have been in that area. So, do you really think that they're going to get rid of gas driven cars when that's the number one, money maker in the world? No.
No.
And so
No.
the Chinese, they can make all the electric cars they want, but it's not going to happen because the thing is, this is that it's not what drives people, but they play with us.
Mm-hmm.
They play with us, Eve. But as I told you before, it's just like with children. You can't keep lying to your children because when you lie to your children, then therefore they have a tendency to rebel. And just like with them lying to us as adults, it's only a matter of time before shit is going to start to just kind of collapse within itself
Very good point.
because it's a lie. It's a
Creating the
lie.
resistance almost,
Yeah,
basically. I mean,
yeah.
that's what all the movies say anyway. If the bad guys didn't do so much of the bad guy thing, then there would be no need for for anything else to happen. But you start putting people in dire situations, and well, maybe they don't show up to work. Shout out to people who strike and say that they're
Yeah,
not going to let things happen. The productivity is going to stop. Like, well, isn't
right.
it the port workers and all of the people at the docks were saying that they were going to go on strike right before the holiday if these things didn't happen. Amazon workers talking about strikes.
Amazon workers are on strike, but it's not really being effective.
Why do you
See,
think that is, though?
because they can get rid of your dumbass and
There you
hire
go.
somebody else.
Because the
See?
next article I saw after the Amazon strike was that Amazon is hiring all sorts of immigrants. So it's like, really, they're acknowledging, yeah, there's people not showing up for work, but hey, we got some jobs. Did you know that we're
Yeah.
hiring right now?
And they're not going to argue. They're not going to cry. And they're
Mhm,
going and you can maybe pay them at a lesser rate.
lesser rate. Yep.
See,
Yep.
like they were talking about Starbucks that they're
Yep.
on strike
Starbucks is
too.
another strike too.
You know,
Hmm.
I get my coffee at a Speedway gas station. So I don't know. Fix it up, baby.
That's funny. I know.
But
Feeling good coffee. I like to make, you know, I like to make my stuff. Not only do I think that it tastes better, but I just don't like spending money with these people because it just never seems to stop. However, I do like convenience and things that are good, so I will spend money and I will do things that are convenient sometimes, but damn if it's not, I can look at these little things and see how they build
yeah,
up and snowball into, well,
but
it's not
then
that big of a deal,
yeah,
but
but
then
then
it's like, shit, that
it's easy.
$10,000, that's a big deal.
But it's easy and it's important when you got children. But as your children become adults and they move away to college or they move out the house and go into the military, then when it's just you and your man, y'all
Mhm.
just say, "Yeah, let's go to let's go to Starbucks.
Right,
Let's go and have
right.
a coffee. Let's just go with me and you. Let's go."
Start
And
slipping.
because see, as I told you, family, as I keep trying to tell you, that a good relationship is not because it has good sex. Because a lot of times, most of the time, a lot of men they're not good sexual providers until they've been with a woman for a long time. A good marriage, a good relationship is based on can you have good conversations, not just slick talk, but
Mhm.
good conversations. That's what will make a relationship last and grow. See,
Right.
because a conversation don't cost you anything, but a conversation can lead to you having a walk in the park with your partner. A conversation can lead to you and your partner maybe going to a coffee shop and maybe having a cup of coffee just to talk for a little while. And so see, this is a relationship, and see, this is why a lot of people, in a sense, have no relationships because they think the relationship is based on mainly sex and money. It's not sex and money because those things, can they depreciate over time.
Hmm.
See, but good conversation, it can last forever.
I agree. I think that well, conversation is a form of intimacy, when you're open and vulnerable and sharing things. And yes, the best ones when you're like, damn, that was a good conversation we had. I felt like I don't know, maybe we were both on the same page, or
Wow.
maybe we got to the same understanding, or maybe not the same understanding, but it didn't turn into a fight, because
Yeah.
we got to say whatever. I think a lot of different variables can make
That's
a good
because
conversation.
that's because that's because you're a human being.
Hmm.
And what makes you a human being is thinking. And a good conversation makes you think. It doesn't have to be deep thought. See, this is the whole point.
Right,
It
right.
does, but it was just a good talk, a good conversation. But
Mm.
again, like I said, is that I know a lot of you guys are saying, "What the hell is this, doctor?" We're talking about Kwanzaa, and Kwanzaa is the thing. Kwanzaa is the way of the future. but
Probably.
again, yeah,
I I put Kwanzaa, Aracha Sussy, um, New Black Media Appreciation Month in April. All of these things, I think that at the end of the day, every single holiday has some weird story associated with it, right?
yeah,
But what is it trying to do? Because I don't know. When I was getting my master's, there was this running joke that the best counselors had all sorts of problems. Like they're probably the most fucked up person you know, but here they are trying to understand themselves or help society out by being able to help other people with these types of problems. And I never liked that joke because it's not funny. You don't want people with problems talking to you about your problem. No, I want the person who's solved, maybe never had these problems. It's different.
But a good psychologist can help. A good psychologist can help you solve your problem. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that they don't have problems.
Right.
They can help you solve your problem because they can give you in a sense exercises that can allow you to maybe move forward. Mm-hmm. See, a psychologist, he usually or she usually tells you how to solve a problem. A psychiatrist, they want you to somehow go inside of yourself and correct yourself before you wreck yourself. It's a song like that. Wreck yourself. Yeah. Anyway, but I get off. Don't pay any attention to me. I get the lyrics messed up.
That's actually that's a point I never thought of. I've always thought of psychiatry. They'll prescribe you something, and psychologists, they're more solution based. But right. Then with what you just said, if the psychiatrist wants you to be internal, well, that's why they're giving you drugs, because they want you to do a deep dive.
And it takes longer. Whereas a psychologist, hey, you pay a few $100s, pay a couple of thousand, you moving forward. I'll give you a mantra. I'll give you in a sense some speech you should say to yourself. I'll give you some encouragement. I'll give you some things that can allow you to be able to really calm down. That's what I could do. But I'm not a clinical psychologist, so I would not prescribe anything, and I would not do anything like that. But I could. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Again, as usual, family, I enjoyed talking to Eve. And it's just Eve. It's just Eve. It's nobody to be afraid of.
That's true. And today I'm super, super comfy in an uncomfortable chair, not in my comfy couch that I voted for.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Tonight, as we get ready for Kwanzaa tomorrow, because like I said, do celebrate over here, but just in the form and fashion of, I think that these are principles we should be paying attention to every day. And since I don't know anybody who celebrates, not really. I mean, some of the people that go to school, and maybe some of you Pan-Africans out there say you celebrate, but it's in the events that I think that we can come together as a community and share some of these reality checks. Because, well, if you know that there's a bunch of Black Americans who are out there, and maybe these are the times that you can go be around them and say things like, voting for the couch, or, delineation. You can have conversations that aren't so forced, because, well, they're just like you too. Maybe they're just not in the same spaces. So using the time that we have, that's something you taught me earlier this year. We talked about it earlier today. And I think just as a well-rounded point, using the time that we have and not wasting it, that might help us get to the next step quicker, maybe.
Maybe. But Doorbell said reading isn't going to help when elite colleges say students can't read a book. A pre-med teacher said that the current students who don't read frighten her. Of course, in a sense, is that they don't really need to read a book. The problem with today is that that medical school should be a school that teaches you how to practice medicine, mm-hmm. instead of just reading books. See, yeah. And that's the whole problem, is that everything is moved away, but reading is fundamental. Reading is important, but Dorville, it's a little bit more deeper. But again, like I said, family, is that we got to have this black think tank, and we're going to have it tomorrow. You guys join me at 3 p.m. I'm going to discuss our culture, and I hope you guys will join. Make some comments, get other people to look at it. because we're going to discuss what is this culture. People keep saying, what is Black culture? What is the FBA culture? Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the FBA culture, that people have tried to ignore and that people, in a sense, have tried to run from. So see you tomorrow. Don't be
Take
scared.
that, Fat Joe.
Did you have any final comments, Eve, about Kwanzaa?
No, just if you weren't celebrating because it's got a weirdo or founder, well, Valentine's Day is about a massacre, and Thanksgiving is also about another massacre. So if y'all are already celebrating some weirdo shit, then maybe you take another look at this other stuff. And well, if you do, that would be cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. But I'm glad you joined us tonight. Either way.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody. Love you.
Hey.
The only thing that can save you is be one, be one, be one. To fight Cage, you must stay